I was waiting in anticipation for the gentle touch of my husband when I heard the crack and the door opened. He walked in and stood in the middle of the room. Surprisingly, my husband asked me to sleep with his friend who visited us in our house during the night. Imagine you're stuck in a really tricky situation, like being tangled in a giant spider web. That fateful night, my husband asked me something super surprising. I never know that his friend to stay in our house is not just for old time's sake. He set me up with his friend such that I could never imagine my husband to have planned such a thing that will shake up the foundation of our whole marriage. This is the story of my life. This is what happens when you have to really trust someone, when the usual rules don't seem to apply, and when you find out what love really means in the craziest situations. It all started that evening when I was in my office trying to wrap up for the day and my boss entered with the following day instructions. While coping with the hustle and bustle of corporate life, little did I know that a routine meeting would lead me down a path of unexpected twists and turns, ultimately unraveling the very fabric of my reality. My name is Zara. It all began innocently enough, with my boss announcing an emergency meeting. Little did I anticipate that this gathering would introduce me to the man who would later become my husband, Muna. Our courtship was filled with laughter and gifts, but beneath the surface lacked cultural traditions and secrets that would soon shake the foundation of our relationship. Marriage brought its own set of challenges, particularly navigating Minochi's cultural customs, including his previous marriages and the expectations placed upon me as his newest wife. But nothing could prepare me for the night when Minochi's childhood friend came to visit. What started as a joyous reunion quickly turned into a nightmare when Muna made a shocking request for me to entertain his friend in a way that shattered my understanding of love and loyalty. When my now husband asked me to marry him, I heard some weird rumors about his traditions. People said that when guys come over to visit, the wife has to be super friendly, like more than normal. I didn't believe it and thought they were just being silly. I became concerned when one of my colleagues told me about my husband's cultures again. I asked my then boyfriend, who is now my husband, about it, and he said those people were just jealous and trying to make trouble. He told me not to worry, and I said okay. Blinded by love, I trusted him. I found myself enveloped in the charming of love, that it becomes difficult for me to question facts, even when it is glaring for me to see. It wasn't just any love, it was the kind that blindsided me, the kind that swept me off my feet and carried me into a world of enchantment and allure. After I met him in our office that day, it has been excitement all through. His presence was magnetic, drawing me in with his charm and charisma. He was a man of mystery, with an aura of sophistication that captivated me from the moment our eyes met. Our courtship was nothing short of a fairy tale. He showered me with gifts, lavish outings, and surprises that left me breathless. Every moment spent in his company felt like a dream, as if I had stepped into a realm where time stood still, and only love prevailed. But amidst the whirlwind romance, there loomed a shadow of cultural differences. I, Zara, hailed from a conservative background, rooted in modern tradition and familial ties, while he was a free spirit, unbound by societal norms and expectations. He kept showing signs of his true self, but I brushed aside the doubt that crept into my mind, trusting his love was enough to drown out the voices of reason, and I was willing to overlook any obstacles that stood in our way. As our relationship deepened, I found myself consumed by his affection. His every word was like poetry, his touch like a gentle caress that set my soul on fire. I was intoxicated by his love, intoxicated to the point where I was willing to overlook the warning signs that flashed before my eyes. But little did I know that there is a hidden culture that would shatter the fabric of my reality. But amidst the turmoil, one thing remained constant: the passion that had ignited our love still burned bright. And though our journey was fraught with challenges, I held on to the hope that love would conquer all in the end. I believed that, even in the midst of darkness, there remained a glimpse of light, the unwavering belief that love, true love, was worth fighting for, no matter the cost. So, I was undeterred. And so, against all odds, I was really sure about our love and I decided to marry him when he asked me to. In a lavish ceremony that echoed the opulence of our love, we exchanged vows and pledged our lives to one another. I got married to him, thinking we could handle anything together. It turns out that my husband had some secrets related to old traditions. Before me, he was married to 2 other wives. Though my culture and his allowed polygamy, a fact I accepted without hesitation. I was cool with it, and we've been happy together. One day my husband came back and announced to us that his childhood friend will visit and will stay for some days. His friend will be visiting us from another state and they haven't seen each other for a while. In fact, they grew up together, but at a time they lost contact. When my husband told us his old friend from when he was little was coming to visit, the room felt kind of excited but also a bit weird because it had been so long. They hadn't seen each other in ages, but thanks to chatting online, they were going to meet up again. Everyone was pretty pumped about it, but also a little nervous. My husband mentioned that his buddy was coming over not just to hang out, but also to look for some special plant medicine that's found where we live. While all this was going on, I didn't notice anything wrong. I was just focused on getting the house ready for the visit, making sure everything looked nice and was just right. We were super excited, almost like we could feel the buzz in the air, waiting for my husband's body from way back to show up. It was so cool to hear about the fun stuff and great times they had when they were kids. We got busy making this awesome dinner, like something you'd make for someone really important, and we put a lot of love into it because it was a special day. The house smelled amazing with all the good food cooked. And I tried my best to make everything perfect because we really wanted to make a good impression on our special visitor. Even though I don't have kids running around yet, we are keeping our fingers crossed and hoping that'll change soon. The halls were filled with laughs and talking as we greeted our guest, who was super friendly and made us feel all cozy and happy. We chatted and shared cool stories, enjoying making new friends, not noticing the sneaky problems that we didn't know were there. In the middle of all the fun, he mentioned that he has a wife and 3 kids and really cares about them. He seems like a really good guy, with a heart full of love. But even though everything seemed great, there were actually a lot of tricky rules and family stuff that were kind of like a maze we were all stuck in. So after everything, our guest was shown to the guest room and we all retired to our chambers. And because we have a big house, me, my co-wives and my husband are living in a separate chamber each. I met a standing rule among the wives that our husband visits each wife's chamber each week when it's their turn. And that week was my turn. My husband takes his turn every week to meet each wife to fulfill his conjugal rights at night. He had been to my room twice. On the 3rd day of that week that my husband is supposed to spend time with me was the day that my husband friend came in at night. In my room I waited in anticipation. As the door clicked open, my heart danced in hopes at the sight of my husband's coming to my room. Yet, the warmth in his eyes was replaced by an unfamiliar intensity as he spoke, his words casting a shadow over our once happy home. "I want you to go and make my friend happy," he said, his tone leaving no room for argument. Confusion clouded my mind as I struggled to comprehend his meaning. Make him happy. I don't get it. What do you mean? I don't understand. I have made the food and he has eaten, and everything was okay. I don't understand making him happy, as in what way? He said that he wants me to go to his friend's room and stay with him and make him happy. Still confused I said, I don't understand, can you be more clear? He said, sleep with him. I was stunned. I was baffled. My ears could not believe it. I said, what do you mean? I stammered, my voice trembling with disbelief. You mean, sleep with him? He said, yes, is that tradition? I said, but I asked you about it and you said that my friends were talking nonsense, so it's true. He said it's true, that if he had told me then that I wouldn't have accepted to marry him. But that was not the case. He said the herbal medicine he took stirs up his libido and puts his urge high. If that's the case, you have other wives like me. Why not other wives, since they already know the culture? Not me, please, I said. And today is my turn to spend the night with you, and you know I have not beared any child. The other wives, they have had children. I haven't even had any child, and you're supposed to be with me this week, and now you're asking me to go and sleep with him. What about other wives? He said that I am the more presentable one, that when you want to give somebody something, you have to give that person something that is very presentable. That he wanted to damn the culture for my sake, but the circumstances needed my assistance. Please, I never wanted to drag you into this. But we really need your help. And that I shouldn't put him to shame. That I should do him that favor of going to his friend's room and make him happy. Looking at the scenario and not knowing what is on his mind, I pretend as if I have agreed because it was late and I didn't know what to do. If I had said, no, I don't know what would have happened. So, I said, okay, if that's what you want. I showed him reluctance so that he would believe that I wanted to do it. Let me change and then get ready to go. He just walked up to me and pecked me and said thank you, that he knew he could rely on me, and he left. Yet, even as he spoke, I could sense the doubt in his eyes, a fleeting moment of hesitation before he disappeared into the night. But I didn't mind. I feel betrayed. I pretended to be okay with it, trying not to show how upset I really was. Inside, I was thinking, no way, I'm not going to just go along with this. I felt a little spark of wanting to stand up for myself. But I couldn't, knowing fully well that it's night and anything can happen before I can call for help. As he left, I just looked round, took my purse, picked one or two things, put them in one of my handbag, and then sneaked out through the gates, and then took a cab and I left. As it is right now, I am in a secret location in a friend's house where I am hiding for time being. His voice kept echoing in my head. We have to do it this way, he said, sounding kind of sad. I didn't want to drag you into this, but we really need your help. How can he be forcing me to sleep with his friend and at the same time saying he doesn't want to drag me? Good thing is that I was able to get out of the house on time, I thought to myself. I am hiding out here so I can clear my head. I was trying to stay quiet, but my phone kept buzzing over and over, each call a reminder of everything I was trying to leave behind. My hands were shaking as I turned off my phone, totally cutting ties with my old life. Time kept passing, and he kept looking for me, calling everyone we knew, but nobody knew where I was hiding. Even my friend I'm hiding in her house told him that she doesn't know where I am. My worry now is whether there is any repercussion if I leave the marriage. Should I have stayed and fight for it? If I go back, would there be trouble? Or should I quit the marriage and go back to my work, which I left because of the marriage? At least to the best of my knowledge, I'm not pregnant. Thank heavens it's even happening early. So, there is no attachment to that marriage if I choose to leave. But I'm confused. I don't know what to do. I need an advice. I need to talk to someone before I make a decision. It's hard to shake off this feeling of betrayal. Even though it's tough, I know deep down that I can't keep playing this game, knowing fully well I have been lied to. He deceived me. So now, I'm at this point where I have to decide on what I want. I don't have to be in a hurry. I will keep hiding here until I clear my head and be able to make a good decision. I thought to myself. This concludes the first part of this intriguing episode. What do you think will be her decision, dear viewers? Do you think it's right for her to leave without fighting for her right? Do you think she will go back and try to fix things at her new home? Or leave the marriage for good? Do you think she was wrong by not confirming the rumors about his culture before marrying him? Do you think such culture should be abolished? Let me know what you think in the comment sections. Let's shine a light on the best path to take. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so that you won't miss out in this intriguing cultural tale.